Hey, what's up, my fellow hustlers? We're back with another episode of Hustle to Horizon podcast. Sorry we didn't shoot one last week. We've been super busy. Got some hailstorms. Been staying working late and busy schedule. So I'll apologize for that. But today we have an awesome guest, Mr. Jadon Thornton with Quigley Builders. How are
Thanks
you
for.
doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
that's good, bro.
It's an honor.
Sorry. I know we were trying to do it before, but we've been staying busy.
Oh man, that's a good reason to get behind.
Yeah. So thank you for making it, man. It means a lot to make some time. I know it's a little late, but I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Thank you for having me on,
Yeah,
man. It's an honor.
yeah. So let's jump right into it. So you're the owner of Quigley Builders, and then you were mentioning another real estate, right?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Yep.
Hamlet and
Hamlet Holdings.
Hamlet Holdings.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So let's start with the Quigley Builders. How long have you been doing that, and how did you get started?
Man, I've been doing construction and been in construction since I was about 14 years old.
Wow.
I'm from a little town near here called Clarendon.
Oh, good old Clarendon.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
What
big
year? What
city.
year did you graduate?
2010.
Okay, so I graduated 11. I'm from Wheeler.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. So we probably
Oh,
played
okay.
in football
Yeah,
or
for
something.
sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I yeah, I remember we had some battles in basketball and football
Yeah,
both, dude.
yeah. It's good times.
Yeah, dude.
You graduated with Johnny
Nope, Johnny was a grade below me, so
below
Johnny would
you.
have been yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
So my
graduated too.
grade was like me, Trey Brown, Glenn Weatherton,
Oh, okay.
uh, and then Johnny and the Crump twins were below me. So yeah,
Yeah. Put that a little closer to you.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember those good old days.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah. We had some good battles with Wheeler.
Yeah. Sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. So in Clarendon, there's not a lot of choices, man. Like you're gonna farm, you're gonna work at Allsups, or you're gonna do some type of like construction, sheetrock, something.
Yeah.
And grew up. A lot of my family farmed, and so I knew that's what I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And so kind of started helping with some remodels and stuff with some local guys when I was 14, 15 years old in the summers, stuff like that. Worked
Yeah.
for the city in the summers. Just really got a lot of experience
Yeah.
in
At
most of it.
14?
Yeah, that's
Man, you're started early.
yeah, man. I had to. Didn't have a choice.
Yeah. So learning that at a young age and stuff. Did you end up going to college or no?
Man, so I did. I went to college in Denver, Colorado.
Oh wow.
Originally, went up there to play basketball. Grew up with my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
When I left that first year I was at college, my grandparents got sick,
Yeah.
and so I moved back home to take care of them.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so after that, the original plan was to take care of them, move back in, help
Mm-hmm.
pay bills, all that good stuff, and then go back to college.
Yeah.
And I went back to university, but it was hard knocks. It was not a
Yeah.
college university. So here
Yeah.
we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And then the remodeling stuff when you were 14, what kind of remodeling was it? Like bathrooms, kitchens,
Yeah, just
flooring?
whatever like anyone in Clarendon needed help with,
Yeah.
man. Like it may be, hey, go paint this fence. It
I
may
got you.
be, I'm gonna teach you how to patch a sheetrock hole
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Anything to make money down there, really.
Really? I used to mow yards in Wheeler. That
Okay.
was my gig,
Yeah.
mowing and stuff. Yeah. And so starting doing that when you started doing that when you were younger and stuff. So that's where you built that passion for the construction.
Man, I will be honest with you. I didn't necessarily have a passion for construction when I
No,
was that young. That was the thing that I knew I could do and I could make some
to make some
money,
money. Yeah.
and buy some school clothes
Yeah.
and shoes and stuff like that. And I was willing to do pretty much whatever I could,
Yeah.
right? I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, but I knew what I didn't want,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
For
know.
sure.
So, really, it just kind of started as a way to pay bills,
Hmm.
right? And so it was a survival by all means necessary type thing.
Yeah.
Um, and you do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do.
Exactly.
I just didn't. It took me until some years later and moving back here and starting this to realize that that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Let's get to that. So you lived in Clarendon, and then at what age did you move to Amarillo?
Man, so I was in Clarendon all through elementary, junior high, high school. Left immediately, like a week after graduation. Moved to Denver, Colorado.
Hmm.
Um, had a pillow, a backpack with clothes in it, and a sleeping bag in my pickup. Had no plans, nowhere to go.
Hmm.
Didn't have a dorm room set up there. Didn't have an apartment, and so
Hey.
moved up there with $380 in my pocket.
Wow.
Um, like I said, same thing. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I
Hmm.
knew what I didn't want to
What you
do.
didn't want to do. Yeah.
And knew how I didn't want to live, and so I was willing to do anything it took to get, you know.
Sure. For sure. And then the Quigley Builders, how did that come into play? When did you get started with that?
Man, so when I moved back to Amarillo, it was after my grandparents both had passed,
Hmm.
and so moved back to Amarillo and worked some, different jobs and did some painting on the side and stuff like that. And then I started in the electrical field. I was an
Okay.
electrical salesman for a
Nice.
local company, and so was really just doing remodels on the side, like retile a bathroom,
Yeah.
repaint a bedroom,
Yeah.
stuff like that, just little stuff, and it really organically evolved. And
Yeah.
so like I never pushed anything, I never uh ran ads, did billboards, any of that stuff. It just turned from redoing a floor in a bathroom to a whole bathroom,
Yeah.
to redoing a whole kitchen, to
Yeah.
redoing a whole house, to an addition on a house,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually into new construction builds. And then we branched off into commercial and steel buildings and all that good
Yeah. Yeah. How did you come up with the name Quigley Builders?
Man, so there's an old western with Tom Selleck called Quigley Down Under. Do
Uh huh.
you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I don't.
Dude, you got to
Do you
watch it.
know? You know it?
One of the best movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my grandfather's favorite, one of his favorite westerns.
I got you.
And so sort of as an ode to my grandfather,
That's awesome.
who I feel saved my life in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And what year did you get that started?
man, I started it up in 2018.
20. So it's fairly new.
Yeah,
Seven.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Actually, it'll be 7 next week.
Yeah.
But before that, I was still doing all my remodels and stuff. I just wasn't incorporated
Yeah.
necessarily. I was, it was just kind of
Mm-hmm.
handyman stuff on the side. And then in 2018, I got my first full house.
Wow.
And so then, that's when I decided, hey,
That's when it started.
I need to
Yeah.
get official with this thing.
What kind of homes do you go like try to build? Do you have like a specific ones that you try to do or just
Uh,
custom?
sort of. We've really made our name in the custom game.
Mm-hmm.
And so uh, anything what I like to do is anything that you can picture. That's what I
Yeah.
want to make your picture come to life, right?
Yeah.
Because typically your home is going to be the biggest investment of your life,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that people feel that and they feel important and they feel valued, right? Because we
Yeah.
appreciate all of our customers. And so really anything custom. And we've done that from where people tell us to design a floor plan
Yeah.
that they like and they just want to pick the paint,
Mm-hmm.
all the way to you're working with us to design these plans down to the number of studs in your house,
Wow.
and the
Yeah.
shape of your island or sinks or whatever
Yeah.
it may be. So a lot of custom work. We really started out in barn dominiums though.
Really.
hmm and
Those are
so
nice. I've seen some around in there.
yeah, man, we've had some really good ones and gotten some really good reviews. We've gone viral with a couple of them,
Really
yeah.
nice.
And so that's, if I had to give anything sort of our stamp, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
it would be barn
Really.
dominiums.
Do you still do a lot of those?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love barn dominiums, man.
How many are you putting out a year?
Man, it kind of just depends year to year. So like, for 24, I think we put out 7 customs,
Nice.
and in 2021 we put out 18.
Wow.
And that almost killed me, man. I was,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a lot of work.
oh my gosh, dude, I was 5 a.m. to midnight,
Yeah.
7 days a week for an entire year.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, man. But just really kind of depends. It depends on the size of the projects, right?
Yeah.
Like, we in 2020 we did 3, but they were all huge,
Huge. Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And so then we branched off, and so I've got my steel building division now. We do a lot of steel building, shops, warehouses, stuff like
Okay.
that. Highland Springs, Four Corners, stuff
Yeah.
like that. We're really pushing those right now.
Awesome.
We have a lot of fun with them. They're short time span
Mm-hmm.
wise, and we have got a really good price point right
Yeah.
now on our.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Do you you're talking about pricing? How are the tariffs gonna affect your company in a big way or no?
man, to be honest with you, I was probably like most builders, kind of worried about it for a little
Yeah.
while. So a little background. I sold enough steel
Mm-hmm.
in 2021 to qualify as a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to use any of the steel distributors in town.
Oh wow.
So I'm not gonna say any names, but like the big orange one, big
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't have to use any of those guys anymore. I can buy direct from the same
Wow.
manufacturers
they
and
get it
fab
from?
guys that they get it from. And so that's usually going to give us somewhere between an 8 and 12%
Yeah.
up on the cost already, because we've been able to cut out that middleman.
Yeah. That's pretty
And
interesting.
so probably a month ago, I went to all my steel suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4.
Mm-hmm.
And basically kind of told them what I was thinking about the tariffs
Yeah.
and made a deal with them. We reserved close to $1 million worth of steel at the current price.
Nice.
So until I sell,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really large amount of steel, I will not be hit with any tariff pricing. And so we'll be able to roll that over to our customers for
Yeah.
the next, 7, 8, 10 months.
That's good. That's good.
So
You got that price locked in.
yeah, yeah.
That's really smart. Is it just you in the company, or you got partners?
Nope, just me,
Just
man.
you.
That's it. Solo dolo, man.
Solo dolo. What do you think about partnerships? I know we were talking about it a little bit a while ago.
Man, I think that they can be great.
Yeah.
I think that they can, I probably would compare it to a an open flame in a candle, right?
Hmm.
If you use it correctly, it'll warm your house and warm your home, and if it's used incorrectly, it'll burn it down,
Yeah, for sure.
right? And so I think as long as you have the same dreams, the same visions, the same goals, the same hustle,
Yeah.
not to say that you're going to be exactly the same because no one is, and
Yeah.
in a partnership, you wouldn't want someone that's the exact same,
Exactly.
right?
You want to get somebody that has something that you're weak in.
Exactly
So you
right. If
can.
you and I were partners, we wouldn't want to be the exact same,
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And so I think as long as you can be on the same page and everyone knows what's going on, man, I think they can be great.
Yeah. Have you tried partnerships before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done them
It
before.
didn't work out.
Man, I didn't have any that were bad necessarily.
Yeah.
But we did. I've had a couple, and things have ended amicably, and I don't have anything bad to say about anyone.
Yeah.
But a couple of those we've sold to businesses.
Yeah.
And then both kind of
Have
took
you
our
have you
money.
built some companies and then sold them?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What were they? What were some of them?
Man, so the first one was I know I don't look like it now, but I was a bodybuilder for
Oh,
a
nice.
long time.
No, you're pretty
and
swole. Yeah.
and so yeah, I'm round right now, man. That's the only shape I'm in. Uh but when I was a bodybuilder, I started an apparel brand.
Okay.
It was called Be Your Own Hero Apparel,
Okay.
BYOH. And so we got big, man. We had Olympia level athletes,
Wow.
as sponsored athletes. I know that a lot of people don't necessarily follow that, but like Frank McGrath is a big name. He was
Mhm.
one of our athletes. Terrence Ruffin, second place at the Olympia, was one of
Wow.
our athletes. Natalia Coelho, she's won the women's physique Olympia
Yeah.
4 times. So she's been number one in the world for 10 years. And so she was one of our athletes. And
Wow.
we had some local athletes here in town too.
Yeah.
Had some people out of Lubbock, some people out of Dallas. And so we did that for, man, I probably had that for 5 or 6 years.
Nice.
And so we
Nice.
went to the Arnolds and the Olympias
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the events and had our booths and,
Yeah.
did local stuff too. And so it was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
man. It just got to a point. Quigley was growing
Mhm.
pretty rapidly at that point, and so I had to make a decision.
What to go with?
Right.
Yeah. And you sold that. You
I
sold
did.
that one
Yes, I did.
to someone here in town, or
Yeah, yeah. I sold it to someone local, and then she took it, ran with it for a little while, and then she sold it to someone out of Dallas, and so now they're running with it.
they're over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Building a brand and being able to scale it to where you're able to sell it.
Yes, sir.
Is that the only business you've sold?
Um, Technically,
Yeah.
I mean, sort of. I've had businesses that I've had purchased or absorbed,
Yeah.
right, by competitors.
Mhm.
And so we've done, like, I had a tile company for a while, and
Really?
we got absorbed by a larger company in town. They wanted to buy us out and buy all our guys and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So there's been a couple of those, but as far as something that I built from the
Mhm.
ground up and then outright sold, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only
That's awesome, man. Where do you think
one.
this entrepreneurship in you? Where do you get it from?
Man, I will be honest, I'm not sure.
You don't know.
I grew up, almost everyone in my family was a farmer,
Hmm.
rancher, or a cowboy
Yeah.
professionally, right? My granddad was a professional cowboy at the JA Ranch in
Hmm.
Clarendon, and my whole life, and so I that is one of the most undervalued and needed careers
Hmm.
in the world. People don't realize it.
Yeah.
There it's a humongous job, and it can be uh, the most rewarding job in the world, but you
Hmm.
never have an audience,
Yeah.
right? Um, and people see rodeos and stuff, and yeah, there's cowboys at rodeo,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not the same, man.
Not the
You know what I
same
mean?
like on
It's
a
not.
farm.
Yeah, if you're working on a ranch day in and day out, man,
Yeah.
you don't get days off. You're 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Sunshine, snow, rain, doesn't matter, right? Because your job is to be a shepherd to these animals, and your job
Exactly.
is to take care of these animals. And everything that all of us do, and every time we eat a burger, and every time we,
Uh huh.
go out to eat or grill at our house or whatever, that's
Farmers.
farmers, ranchers,
Mm-hmm.
cowboys.
Yeah.
That's why we can do that, you know? And
That's so
so
true.
grew up around that a lot. Incredibly rewarding career.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never done it, it'll be incredibly humbling if you do it, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have no idea exactly what goes into it, man. It's hard work.
Yeah.
And so I just knew that I wanted to do something that I could give my kids a life that I
Mm-hmm.
necessarily didn't have
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
right? Grew up pretty impoverished.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, man, when I was younger, I didn't care what it was.
Yeah.
I always said that I would join the circus and travel if it paid me enough
If it
money
paid you
that I
enough
could
money.
take care of my
Yeah.
family in the future,
Yeah.
right? And so I really think that a lot of it just comes from wanting to change my lineage
Yeah.
more than anything.
That makes sense, man. Some people just they always want to go for more and more and more.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I am, and I like to. I don't just like to be doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah, and I
improve.
want to
You
have
know.
something to reach at, and I want to have
Exactly.
something to chase. And I've had moments in my life where it felt like a lull,
Uh huh.
right? Because you're just kind of like womp womp
Yeah.
womp womp womp.
Yeah.
You're in the same thing every day, and so what I found is I need something to pursue. I need
Exactly.
something to chase
A
all the
goal. A
time.
goal. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. At what age do you think that mindset changed for you? Were you ever like a party animal and
Oh, dude.
just because I know I was.
Yeah, dude, bad, right? And so you grew up small town in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know how it is,
Yeah.
right? There's a couple of things that you do in those towns, and that's it.
Yep.
And yeah, big time. Had my fair share of struggles
Hmm.
and trouble and all that stuff, man. And I remember that. I mean, and I wouldn't necessarily. This is where like the entrepreneurial gene kicked off,
Hmm.
but I remember the day that I had a
It clicked.
moment,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm not doing drugs anymore. I'm not
Hmm.
partying 7 nights a week. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I need to take this serious." And it was a day that my grandfather died.
Wow. So that changed you a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got up at 8 a.m. and I had two missed calls from
Hmm.
one of my uncles, and so called him back. He told me, and in Clarendon, 60 miles away,
Yeah.
I got from my apartment on 34th and Western to my grandfather's house in Clarendon in 32 minutes.
Dang, you're hauling ass.
And so I remember on the way down, I was like, "Oh, I'm done. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it anymore."
Yeah.
And that was dropped everything pretty much
Cold
cold
turkey.
turkey, everything
Nice.
immediately.
What age were you?
Man, I was 19 years old, 20 years
19.
old, 19
When
when
that
my
happened?
grandmother passed. Yep, 20.
Man,
I'd been
so
20 for a month.
yeah. So you got a head start. I mean, that's still young to be able to leave all that behind
Yeah, for sure.
and
And
start
I
learning.
started really early,
Yeah.
right? Like by the time I was
15.
oh dude, by the time I was 17, I had,
Yeah.
I was a seasoned veteran.
That's how it was.
I
Yeah.
started at 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Um
Those small towns, dude, I feel like, man, they do that to you. There's not much to do.
they do.
You go back road, drink. Uh, or I remember my eighth grade graduation. I can't get in trouble for this now, but we would party before and
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
eighth grade.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, we were doing extracurriculars before football games and basketball games in
Yes.
eighth grade, man. Seventh grade too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
But yeah, dude, when you start that young,
Yeah.
I feel like most people go one of two ways, right? They're gonna
Yeah.
like pretty early, it's gonna kind of fizzle out for them, or they're gonna go down a really hard path.
Yeah. It took me a little longer. I was what, like 26, 27.
Sure.
But I feel like I started later. So that's why I give advice to the people that are doing that now. Because I have a lot of salespeople that are younger,
Sure.
21, 22.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I could go back. But I feel like it's just part of life. Because older people now, they're going to say the same thing.
Sure.
If I was your age, I would do this,
Right.
But I mean, young people, they got to live their life and enjoy it too. But now that I see it, I wish I would have done it differently.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that was just when I really stopped doing all the hardcore stuff,
Yeah.
right?
So you were in pretty
I
deep.
still, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I still, I'll still enjoy a whiskey every now and
Yeah.
then, and stuff like that. And I drank after that,
Hmm.
but it just was not to the
To the
extent. It
extent. Yeah.
wasn't the quantity.
Yeah.
It wasn't to the extremes,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I guess that's the best way to say it. I just stopped all the extremes.
Yeah.
But that was kind of ground zero for me
Yeah.
because at that point, and this, growing up in a small town in the Texas Panhandle,
Yeah.
financial literacy doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. No.
It's not a thing. It's not taught.
No.
And so, I remember I was 21 years old and I knew I didn't have a bank account. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to open a bank. I kept my cash under my mattress.
Dang.
I would
Yeah.
get paid wherever I was working. I would go to Mr. Payroll
Mm-hmm.
at the Toot and Totem,
Yeah.
pay like 10% or whatever it was
To
of my
cash.
paycheck,
Yeah.
dude, to get $100 bills, and I
Yeah.
would just put them under my mattress.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was 22, I wanted to buy a house. I thought, that I was ready to buy a house. And
Yeah.
so I drove around, I found a house. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I called the guy on the sign and he says, okay, do you have your pre-approval? And I'm like, no, man, I'm just gonna I'll just pay this guy cash every month. And he's like, dude, that's not how this works.
I'll pay him cash every month. That's funny.
And so he linked me up with a mortgage guy in town, great guy, Chris Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Still one of my very good friends to this day. Credit that guy with a lot
Where is he at right
that
now?
I've done. He's at BOC, Bank of
Chris.
Commerce.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
Chris.
dude.
That sounded familiar. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
small bank right here. They're from McLean, right?
Yeah, originally
Yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
McLean, and they're on Polk Street
Yeah,
here.
Polk Street.
Yep.
He's awesome. Yeah.
And so I got linked up with Chris,
Mm-hmm.
years and years ago. Um, that's one of the most financially literate humans I've ever met.
Really?
And so I sort of just told Chris like, "Hey man, I'm going to learn everything that you
Mm-hmm.
have to offer."
Yeah.
And so he helped me get, told me, you need to have your bank account, you need to have your bank statements,
Yeah.
you need to have your W-2s, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of taught me the game
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so at 22 years old, I opened my first bank account.
Yeah.
Never had a credit card, got credit card within a year and all that stuff. And so for 2 years, I did not listen to a song.
Yeah.
I did not listen to the radio. I did not watch a movie. I did not watch television.
Podcast.
Everything I did was podcasts and YouTube videos to become more financially literate.
Exactly. Yep.
And probably the best thing I've ever done,
Yeah.
aside from marrying my wife.
It's crazy how much you can get out of these YouTube videos and podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
wild.
Anything you want, man.
You're fired. Yeah, it's crazy how much information you can get and knowledge. That's how I am. I can't sit there and just watch a movie.
Yeah.
I'd rather be watching YouTube videos
Right,
or
man.
podcast or editing videos or whatever. But I feel like a lot of people need to get on that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. Maybe a hot take here. There's not a lot you can learn in college that you can't learn on YouTube for free.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be honest, dude.
Yeah.
Like you could get on and learn calculus right now.
On YouTube, yeah.
You
Yeah.
can learn anything on YouTube, man.
How do you feel about college?
Man,
Do you think it's necessary?
no.
No.
Necessary? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
For certain people it is, right? If you're going to be a professional, a doctor, an
lawyer,
attorney, anything like that,
Mhm.
for sure, a school teacher.
Yeah.
As far as, well, you need to get a general studies degree, a
Yeah.
psychology degree to do anything, man, I could not disagree.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of the most successful people that I know personally,
Mhm.
and I'm talking guys worth hundreds of millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
None of them
No
went to
college career. Yeah.
Not even a semester, man.
Yeah.
But you can become a master at your craft and you can become really good at the game you're playing without it, as long as that's the game you want to play. And right, the game doesn't require a super advanced degree.
Exactly. No,
You know?
that's very important, especially for like younger kids nowadays. They need to know that, because
Yeah.
I remember in school that man they hammered it down in our head.
Oh yeah, college or
You gotta
nothing.
go to college. You gotta go to college. Did you apply for a scholarship? Did you do that? Did you do that? They never talk to you about all the other possibilities that are out there.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine when you were 18 if they would have told you, "Hey, man, go be a roofing salesman. In a couple of years, you could probably make six figures if you wanted to."
Yeah, I'd be like, what?
You would have been like, "I'm not going to college,
No,
man."
yeah. They'd be like, you want to be a teacher, a coach, and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And that was when you don't know anything else, right? And we grew up in the panhandle, but none of us even thought about it. How many farmers are around Wheeler that are uber wealthy?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Farmers and ranchers. And so I don't think it's necessary at all.
Yeah.
My hot take, I would call it,
Mm-hmm.
is that where the money is at now and where it's going to be in the future is the trades.
Trades,
Right. And so
real estate too.
Yep. Trades, anything trade.
Yeah.
So real estate's a trade. Plumbing is a trade. Welding is a trade.
Yeah.
Steel buildings
Mhm.
are a trade. Any of it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many guys aging out and
Mhm.
retiring out of all of these trades right now.
That's so true.
And there is not enough coming in.
Yeah.
I don't fact check me on this. I want to say that the last time I had heard the for every 6 plumbers we're losing in Amarillo, we've
Mm-hmm.
got one coming in,
Oh
like
wow,
one young kid that's sticking
that's
with it,
sticking around. Yeah.
right? And so you think about that in 30 years, man. Like when
Yeah.
your kids are grown, when my kids are grown,
Yep.
they're gonna be able to go, oh, you guys both want me to do the plumbing on your house or the electrical on your house?
Yeah.
Well, who's gonna pay me more? Because I'm the only show in town.
Yeah. That's so true.
And so they're gonna
Yeah.
be able to roofers,
Yeah.
any trade.
Yeah. That's so true. I didn't think about that, but yeah, now that I think about it, it makes sense and so true.
And
Yeah.
you've done, your fair share of construction and
Yeah.
remodels. I mean, you know how hard it is to get
Mm-hmm.
a guy that will just show up, will
Yeah, but
answer
it's
the
so hard
phone,
nowadays. Yeah.
will do a good job, will take pride in their work. It's
Yeah.
hard,
It
man.
is
And
hard.
it's only gonna get harder as we get older.
Yeah. What's the hardest part about running your company, you would say?
Man, wearing all the hats,
Yeah.
right? Because when you start your own company, everyone thinks, "Oh, I'm going to work for myself. I'm not going to work for
No.
anybody." Man,
Yeah.
the day you are self-employed, everyone's your boss.
Exactly.
You have all the bosses now. You thought you were going to have none. You have all the bosses. You have
Yeah.
to answer to everybody now. And so the hardest part is wearing all the hats because
Mm-hmm.
the day you start your company, you're an accountant,
Yep.
you're a paralegal,
Yep.
you're looking up your own legal advice, you are a bookkeeper,
Yeah.
you are a scheduler.
Yeah.
Lots of times, you're an installer.
Yeah.
How many times have you sold a roof and then it ends up you're carrying shingles up ladders,
Yeah.
dude?
Help them out. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're up there and you've got a hammer in your hand.
Yeah.
So wearing all the hats and being able to balance or trying to balance that out
Mm-hmm.
with
Are you
everything else.
are you at that point to where you plan on hiring a team or someone that helps you so you're not having to wear all the hats?
Yeah. So I'm at the point now where I've got my CPA,
Mm-hmm.
I've got my bookkeeper, and then I've got a full-time steel team. So
Okay.
all of our and just we're really leaning heavy into our steel right
Mm-hmm.
now. And so we have all of our pricing and stuff, and so we've built a full-time steel team.
Okay.
And so that I would say that's the thing that we're leaning the heaviest into
Mm-hmm.
right now. Not to say we're not leaning into everything else, but that's just kind of where our attention is moving towards, and it
Yeah.
seems to be the thing that's moving. And I have got a project manager and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that now. So
So it's
yeah,
helped you a
for
little
sure.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so that coming back to that phrase that I said earlier, you do what you have to do
Yeah.
so you can do what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so when you start it, that's it, man.
That's
Like
it.
there's no
You're all
one
in.
you're going for broke,
Yeah.
man. Like it is you make it work or you don't.
Exactly.
And it all depends on a little bit of luck, a little bit of help from the man upstairs,
Yeah.
a little bit of business savvy,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of grit, and just grinding it out, man.
Grind it out. That's true. You're so true, man. Like it just wearing all the hats and stuff. You gotta sometimes you gotta let go a little bit,
For sure.
so you can have that time for your family and personal time.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
something that I struggled with.
At first.
Still now I struggle with that,
Yeah.
right? Because before I had a family, man, like I didn't care. I would work 5
All
a.m. to
day.
3 a.m. It didn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
Because I knew I didn't I didn't know what the target was, but I knew where the target
Yeah.
was.
For sure.
And
For
so I
sure.
did not care how long it took. And so now having a family, having a
Mm-hmm.
kid, um, it's you wear more hats now, right? Because
Yeah.
your dad, your
You're that.
husband, or
Yeah.
your boyfriend, fiance, whatever,
Yeah.
then your dad. And so you get caught in that struggle between working extra and
Mm-hmm.
providing extra,
Yeah.
but maybe being a little absent sometimes
Yeah.
and never being absent because you have a job that,
Mm-hmm.
blesses you and you're allowed to go and be present, but maybe not providing the amount that you feel is necessary and
Exactly.
adequate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
So you
that's a
have
hard
one.
one.
You have one kiddo.
I've got one. I've got a 2.5-year-old boy, and then I've got a girl on the way.
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
Congratulations, man.
thanks, man.
Yeah, you excited?
Yeah, nervous,
I'm nervous.
scared.
I have two little girls, man. They're
Oh, dude, you're tougher than me, man.
I'm I wanted a little boy, man, but girls are just so darn like they're so innocent.
Sure.
They just changes you so much.
That's what everyone with a daughter says,
Yeah.
man. All my buddies that have daughters say the same thing.
Yeah.
And my little boy is a T-Rex, man. He's a tornado. He's
Yeah.
big. He's burly. He's tough. He's
Yeah.
running into stuff, running people over. And so it's going to be an interesting dynamic in the house.
See how it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that you only want to have two?
Yeah.
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 And then you got married how long ago? How long have you
I
been married?
got married in 2020.
2020.
So in August, it'll be 5 years.
Oh, nice. That's a good little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like that changed you too?
Yeah,
Getting married?
for sure.
Yeah.
The extra amount I needed to calm down, I've calmed down since
Yeah.
then for sure, and it kind of puts things into perspective also.
Yeah. Do you? It's an important to. Well, obviously it's important, but how does it feel to have like a solid person by your side? Especially in business and because we're all over the place and stuff.
Yeah,
Do
for
you feel
sure.
like that's very important to find that your
Oh,
partner,
dude,
a good
yeah,
partner?
absolutely. I don't think it's necessary. I won't say that you have to have that to be successful because
Yeah.
you don't. We
Yeah.
all know plenty of people that aren't. However, I think it's a great thing to fall back on. I think that it is a blessing beyond comprehension
Mm-hmm.
to have someone that's actually in your corner,
Yeah.
good, bad, or ugly, right?
Yeah.
To have someone that you can go home and be like, hey, I messed up this part. This is
Mm-hmm.
going on at work, but it's my fault.
Yeah.
And they're still in your corner,
Yeah.
right? So it's a humongous blessing that for me, I can't imagine my life otherwise.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
My wife is an attorney,
Really?
and so I told her, after we got married, I said, you have no idea that you were going to become a bookkeeper, in-house counsel. You were going to have 100 jobs too. As soon as I had 100 jobs, you
Yeah.
had 100 jobs.
Yeah.
But she's been great and she's supported everything I've ever done, man.
That's good, man. It's good to have someone solid by your side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and growing up not super great,
Mm-hmm.
it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Good.
growing up, I remember kind of watching families, and I thought that was, I thought, man,
You wanted
that's
that.
so cool, dude. Those
Yeah.
people are so lucky. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I had such a wall up, right? Because I was like, I'm not getting hurt. In no way, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
And so we met and started dating, and things got serious, and we ended up
Mm-hmm.
getting married. And so I feel just blessed beyond
Yeah. That's good.
any words I can say.
For sure. For sure. Having someone solid is very important, and I'm sure it makes your life easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
man. And you don't realize it until you're in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
We're
And
hard headed though. Sometimes we
oh
don't we
god,
don't
dude.
learn, bro.
Yeah.
I went through that too. I was like, man, I'm so stupid.
Yeah, that's that small town panhandle of
Yeah,
Texas
yeah,
energy, dude.
yeah, yeah.
That's what that is.
That's so true. What about the real estate, bro? You said you're into real estate. What do you try to buy? Commercial, residential?
Man, a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
I've got some commercial, I've got some residential. We've done some flips on it, both single family, commercial,
Mhm.
multifamily.
Nice.
We've done some new construction builds, like build and hold type stuff,
Yeah.
for rentals, and so a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
man. I
Good.
know that's probably the boring answer,
No,
but
I mean
a
that's
little bit of all of it.
yeah. What's your favorite?
Man, favorite that I have, or like favorite if I could
Like if you could
do
do
it in a
commercial,
perfect world.
residential, yeah.
Man, in a perfect world, I would own probably 40% single family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would probably own 30% multifamily,
Yeah.
and then the rest I would own in commercial, but industrial.
Industrial.
It wouldn't be like an office complex.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be storage complexes.
Storage, yeah.
It would be steel buildings,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
What is your plans with that in the future?
Man, so the really that is that's I don't want to say our retirement, but it's kind of our retirement, right?
Yeah.
That's a goal. We've got some storage units and we've got some RV units and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, and some single family. And so cash flow's great, cash flow's good, cash flow's necessary most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the real value for that, man, is in your capital pay down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else is paying down your capital. Um, in your depreciation on your taxes,
Yeah.
right? Because you get to depreciate a really significant
Uh-huh.
amount of money usually.
Yeah.
And in the appreciation, because every year
I
that
appreciate it.
property is going to appreciate 3 to 5%.
Yeah.
And so if you think your appreciation is 3%,
Mm-hmm.
the depreciation you're writing off is 10%, and so you're keeping that capital to inject back in. I mean, you're looking at a 15-20% swing if it's done correctly,
Yeah.
and it's bought correctly, and
Mm-hmm.
it's held correctly.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think really it's just sort of our retirement, and
Yeah.
my the plan for my kids in the
Yeah.
right.
For sure.
I
You
want to
wanna
leave something.
exactly. You wanna set them up.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't want to give them everything, right?
Yeah.
Like my kids are going to work
They're
for
gonna work.
sure. They're going to have jobs in junior high. They're going to have jobs in high school. They're going to work with me as soon as they're able to.
Yeah.
They're going to have chores around the house, because I think that that's lost for the most part on our society today.
Yeah, that's so
too. I
true.
think there's a lot of people that had rough childhoods and they want to give their kids
Mm-hmm.
the
Everything.
childhood they never had, but you almost cripple them.
Yeah. No, you have to
You
be
know,
you have to balance it out.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
So what do you do for fun, man? What do you like to do for fun besides work?
Oh, man.
Everybody that I have on here, they just say work every time I ask them that.
Man, that's usually it. If I'm still a huge basketball fan, all
Nice.
sports,
Do you
right?
watch the NBA, the playoffs?
Yeah, yeah.
Who's your team?
Man, I'm a Kobe guy, like
Kobe, yeah.
die hard through and through, have been my entire life.
Yeah.
And so I would say I'm more of a players guy
That's
than
how
a
that's how I am. Yep.
teams guy.
Yep.
I like and same with coaches, right?
Mhm.
I like to watch someone that looks like they're playing chess
Yeah.
when everyone else is playing checkers. You could watch Kobe Bryant and you could see the wheels turning.
Yeah.
You could watch Coach Krzyzewski at Duke coach and you
Mhm.
could see the wheels turning. And
Yeah.
these guys are they're 4 plays ahead
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just playing for, this moment, this play.
That's why they were so successful,
Yeah, yeah. And so that's really what I like to
So
watch.
who's your team right now?
Man, if I had to say there's a team that I'm going for this year, I'm really pulling for the Timberwolves
Yeah.
to do
They
well.
just beat the Lakers, right?
Yeah, man.
Dang.
Love Ant.
Yeah.
Big Ant fan.
He talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, he does, dude. I've been a fan of Ant since he was in high school.
Yeah. Where did you go to high school?
In Georgia, in Atlanta.
Georgia.
And then he went to the University of Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can tell. You can
Oh,
tell he's
yeah.
different when he's playing.
For sure, man. And I'm a huge college guy.
Yeah, college.
And it's changed recently because I had an AAU club, an AAU basketball club here.
Okay.
So after I went to college, came back, moved back up here, worked for a local AAU director here in town. Hoopton was her name. Jonna Pointer, great lady, phenomenal basketball mind, phenomenal business operator. Started a boys program over there, then branched off, started my own boys program, and so I was a big Duke guy my whole life. Always have been a Duke guy because of Coach K, right? Well, all of my boys, we saw a lot of success. We were very blessed. I had great guys playing for me, and we really just kind of reached out. We had kids from everything from Clarendon to Tex Line,
Wow.
Lubbock. We had kids that would come up and stay for the summer with us from Houston and
Dang, that's crazy.
Austin.
Yeah.
We had Jarrett Culver, Texas Tech legend, NBA, played with us. And so all of my boys, we had 27 total in our program, right? Because we started when they were in 5th and 6th grade, and then 7th and 8th, and JV and varsity. And so of those 27, we ended up having about 18 get scholarships.
Really?
That's
awesome.
And so then I just became a fan of anywhere they went, right?
Yeah.
So some schools that people know of, right? Texas Tech, TCU, local guard Shahade Wells here. Been with him, forever, and he went to TCU, and then he ended up at McNeese last year with Will Wade.
Yeah.
And then they made the tournament for the first time in 30 years, and they played Gonzaga round 1, and he's getting paid to play overseas. Jaqueline Gilbreth, another PD kid.
Yeah.
Jaqueline went to Lubbock Christian.
Okay.
Then he went and played in Canada, in the history books in the Canadian College Basketball Hall of Fame. And so he's getting paid to play right now in Italy.
That's very cool.
So now I'm just a fan. I have college shirts and college hoodies from everywhere, man. Tarleton State, TCU, anywhere that any of the guys played. And so, I still have a connection with all those guys. And so we get together every Thanksgiving when they're here. They all come to our house. And so now I'm just watching, man. I'm just, watching these guys go and chase their dreams and succeed, and super rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Did you see that kid from, is it Groover that went to the...
Yep, Jalen Conyers.
Where did he go to?
He went to Stinnett originally, and then he came out of Stinnett, committed to OU.
Okay.
And then he left OU, went to Arizona State, left Arizona State, went to Tech, got drafted by Miami.
I thought he was from Groover.
Well, he transferred to Groover.
Oh,
originally was from Stinnett, transferred to Groover.
Okay.
And so when I had all of my boys playing, he played for a club that's known as the Bulldogs. Alex Hernandez, great coach, great dude. He had that group. They were sort of like our little brother. You know what I mean? Like, we were at their games, and they were younger than us. They were at our games. And so, man, Alex did a great job with Jalen, and all of his coaches did a great job. His parents raised such a freaking good kid.
Yeah. He seems like a solid kid.
That kid deserves everything he gets.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's awesome. That's exciting to see people from like a small town around here, make it.
Yeah, man.
To that level.
Yeah, dude. From the 806, it's possible,
That's
man.
Crazy.
And a lot of times, people don't see all of it, right? They see Jalen, which is incredible, right?
Yeah.
Going to the NFL. Jarrett from Lubbock.
What about the Chavez girl from Lubbock too?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, she's good,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Highest ranked girls basketball recruit out of high school of
Yeah,
all time.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
She's really good.
She is really good. That's the hardest working individual I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Have you been around her? You know her?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, she was real little when we were doing our thing with all
Mm-hmm.
of our boys, but I remember and I know her dad.
Yeah.
He's brilliant
He's
basketball
awesome.
mind too, man, and
Yeah.
he just instilled a work ethic in her, and they knew what they wanted from the time she was in second grade,
Yep. Paid
and they
off.
spent every single second going to get it, man.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. It's fun to see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kids that we all know that are
Making
right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I said, you know, there's more people from Amarillo than a lot of people know that are getting paid to play sports, that are
Yeah.
getting paid
Yeah. I would love to bring one
professionally.
on the podcast.
You know what I
That'd be
mean?
cool.
And so like Shahade Wells, he's playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Jaqueline Gilbreth, he's playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Trey Fillmore, he played in Canada.
That's awesome.
You know, and
There was one in out of Bushland, Crockett
Crockett
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
He went to the
Yep.
Ravens, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Played for the Ravens. Went to Colorado State. And
We
went
played
to the
him in, I
Ravens.
think, in high school, like summer
Yep.
league.
Yeah, we played him too.
He smoked us, man.
He was big, dude.
Yeah, he
Big
was
boy,
tough.
man.
Yeah.
And so there's just, you know, King Daru, right? Out of Tascosa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
King was a phenomenal talent, dude. And his older brother Chris.
Yeah.
Man, shout out Chris, R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You know-
Chris went to Wayland on a basketball
Yeah.
scholarship.
Yeah. We're actually I'm about to hire his little brother Stone.
No way.
Yeah, he's gonna sell some roofs.
Dude, that's cool.
He's awesome. He's a solid
That
kid.
whole family, man. That
Yeah.
family is so clutch.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
No, but Jadon, so what does the future look like for Quigley Builders, and what all do you have? How does someone get in touch with you to contact you to do something?
Yeah,
or-
man. So we've got a Facebook page, we've got an Instagram page.
Okay.
They can contact me specifically. That's my personal cell phone number
Okay.
on anything you see associated with Quigley
It's your
Builders.
number. Okay.
Yep. And so I will almost always answer text calls, you know.
Yeah.
If I don't get back to you, I'll get back to you the next day. But yeah, man, we just want to keep growing.
Barn
we're-
doors,
yep.
homes, custom homes.
Yep, shops,
all
steel
that good stuff.
buildings,
Okay.
commercial. I've got some really interesting stuff coming up, man.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so anything windows and doors related, man, we'd
Windows
love
and
to get a
doors.
shot at.
Okay.
And we'll do you a good job. We've, you know, with all the people in the company, you know, we've got 60, 70 years of experience in
Yeah.
the window and door industry total. So
That'd be good.
you know, we'd love to get all the opportunities we
Mhm.
can with that as well, man. And we just want to grow and we want to do good work.
Exactly. And then you travel to out of town, right? Or no?
Yeah,
Or you try to stay in town.
Nope, we travel out of town. We usually go within about a 2-hour radius.
Okay.
We've done stuff as far as Guyman, Oklahoma, and
Okay.
Childress, Texas, Lubbock.
Lubbock. Okay.
And so we are actually here within the next year. We'll probably launch a branch in Lubbock
Nice. That'd be good.
to compete in Lubbock.
That'd be
So,
awesome.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a good market.
Yeah, man, it's growing. I mean, we're growing too. Lubbock is booming, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. I have one more question.
Yeah.
If you were to give any advice to someone that wants to start their own business, whether it's a building, real estate, any kind of business, what's something you would recommend them?
Man, the time is never right. The
Yep.
only way you can learn is by jumping. I had a mentor one time that told me, you jump off the cliff and you build your wings on the way down.
On the way
That's the
down,
only
yeah.
way that you build your wings.
Yeah.
And so I'm a firm believer in that. You do good work.
Mhm.
You keep your word. You're honest with people, and the universe will repay you.
It'll come back to you
But there's never a perfect time to start. The perfect time is yesterday. The second best time is right now.
right now. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you again.
Yeah,
Thank you for taking the
absolutely,
time
man,
to come
for sure.
in.
Thank you for having me
Maybe
on.
we can do this later again, you know?
Yeah,
Do another time
absolutely, man,
later
for
on.
sure.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I
Well, thank
appreciate
you
y'all.
for watching another episode. If y'all need any construction done, new custom homes, metal buildings, shops, anything like that, barn doors, reach out to Quigley Builders. Jadon will take care of you. He's an awesome dude, solid guy, and just reach out to him if you need anything. And we'll see y'all next time.